Imagine for a second a guy comes home late for work. His wife is all worried. She doesn't know where he is. He's not answering his phone. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Finally, 10 o'clock, he strolls in the door. And she says, "Where were you? I was worried sick." And he goes, "Honestly, sweetie, you should take a seat. I have something to confess." Something to confess? She gets all nervous. She says, "What is it? What could it be?" And he says, "Well, I need to let you know that I'm really just the best. I'm an amazing guy. I'm all that you could have ever wanted, and more. And just to be frank, you're honestly lucky to be married to me. And now go into the kitchen and make me a steak." What? What's this guy saying? He's crazy. He's off his rocker. But if you think about it, it's not so far off from this week's parsha. When we say vidui meiser, so what do we tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Lo avarti mimitzosecha, v'lo shechachti. I didn't do any of the averos. I didn't forget to do anything. I didn't forget you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shemati b'kol Hashem. I listened to the voice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I did everything you could have possibly wanted, and I avoided all the averos. And not only that, we have the audacity to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashkif ma'on kadshecha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look from your holy abode and shower bracha upon me. What are we saying? What are we asking for? So, and maybe also just to take it a step further, how can we call that vidoy? Right? What type of confession is that? That's ridiculous. So I heard a beautiful explanation once that imagine you have a construction worker or a painter and he's wearing his jeans and they're covered with all sorts of schmutz. And he sits down for his lunch break in the middle of the day, pulls out a deli sandwich, he digs in, takes a big bite, and as he squeezes the sandwich, a little bit of mustard falls out from the other end and falls on his jeans. So he doesn't really care. Stain's not a big deal. It's covered with all sorts of schmutz anyway. But if you go to a beautiful dinner, you go to a wedding, and you're wearing your favorite suit, looks great, everyone's dressed great, and you at the shmor, you take a little bit of bite of something, and a little bit of schmutz, a little bit of mustard, let's say, falls on your suit jacket. Because you feel silly, you feel out of place, and you really just, honestly, you want to go home and change. And you want to get a clean jacket. So that's what's going on here. We're about to enter the Slicho season. And we're about to say Hashem nu began, we're about to clap al chet a bunch of times over the next couple weeks. But we need to make sure it's framed properly. We need to make sure that we recognize and we remember all the good that we've done. We need to make sure that we start the season with a vidui meiser. Vidui can mean, it's related to the word hoda, to admit. And so often we admit and think about the wrongdoings, but we have to recognize the good things that we've done as well. Think about the thousands of brachos that we made over the past year. Think about the minutes and the hours of Talmud Torah. Think about the hundreds of tefillos, or the hours we spent on the phone, talking to friends, being mechazik people, whatever it may be. Think about all the good that we've done over the past year. When we frame the slichos with that, so then when you clap Hashamnu, when you clap al chet, you recognize that this isn't who I am. I'm so much better. Look at the good I've done. Think about the potential we have moving forward. When we start the slichos season, when we frame the slichos season with the vidui meiser, before we get to the vidui for the chatam, so then we're going to recognize who we really are. We're going to understand that certain things that we've done, that's not the real me, and you're going to want to change it. We're going to totally get rid of that. And that's why it says Rav Soloveitchik that Abrias Olam HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks back at the creation, and he says what? He says, Vayar Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw, as kol asher asa v'hinei tov mod. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked back and said it was all good. What's going on? Hashem knows it's all good. So Rav Soloveitchik explains that he's teaching us a beautiful lesson that so often we have a tendency to focus on the negatives. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us that we have to look back every once in a while at the positives and appreciate the good that we've done. When we appreciate the good that we've been doing, and that we have done, we're going to remind ourselves that sometimes the small things that we've done that are not so good, that's not what I'm about, that's not what I want to be involved in. I want to continue doing good, and you're going to want to go home and you're going to change your jacket because you know how great you really are.